Hey guys, Mike Lawson here. Excited about this training today. I want to talk about John Maxwell's Law of Influence. It's the second law in the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And understand that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you don't have influence, you will never be able to lead others. And John Maxwell talks about two people, Princess Diana and Mother Teresa. In 1997, they both died within a week of each other, and they couldn't be any more different. And, Princess Diana, she was tall, she was beautiful, she was glamorous, she was the princess. And Mother Teresa was a small, elderly woman, Catholic nun, who, took care of the poor. She served the poor. But their impact was remarkably similar. And in 1996, there was a London poll that ranked Princess Diana and Mother Teresa first and second most caring people. See, how was Princess Diana ranked above Mother Teresa? That only happens if you're a person of influence. See, Princess Diana was never considered a leader. She never considered her a leader. She came from humble background. She never wanted to be in the spotlight. But she had more influence than Prince Charles. And that was a fact. When she passed away, 2.5 billion people watched her funeral. That was double the amount of people that watched her wedding. Now, leadership is not a position. Just because you have a position or you hit a certain rank in a company, that does not make you a leader. And I've seen this, in my business, especially in the network marketing profession, where I see people hit a certain position and they want to start being people's bosses. And they want to start telling people what to do. You need to do this. You need to show up here. You need to get on this conference call. They start being a boss to people. Hey, Janine. Hey, Michelle. So, just because you hit a certain position does not make you a leader. See, true leadership can never be awarded or assigned. It must be earned. The position does not make the leader. The leader makes the position. So my question to you is, who is following you? I hear it all the time. People say, well, I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Really? Well, who's following you? That's how you know who a leader is. See, maybe in traditional business, maybe, let's say you own a traditional business, and because you pay people and you're holding a paycheck over their head, maybe you think you're a leader. Well, listen, people are only following people because, in traditional business, because they're getting a paycheck. It doesn't make that boss or that owner a leader. It just means that they want to get paid. Or maybe, people that are in the military or in law enforcement. Well, just because they have a certain rank or a certain position, people think that they're a leader. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. See, do you want to find out who the good leaders are? And John Maxwell talks about, if you want to find out who the true leaders are, give them a volunteer organization or what I like to say, a volunteer army to lead. And this couldn't be any more true than in the network marketing profession. See, understand, people join your business or your team willingly. Okay? It's not a job. They show up to things because they want to. They get on conference calls because they want to. They go to conventions because they want to. They don't have to. People will not join your business. They don't want another job. They're not joining because they want another boss. They're joining because they want to get away from their boss or they want freedom. So don't be a boss, right? So, understand that, especially in network marketing, if you start seeing, here's how you know who the leaders are. When you see, let's say you have a weekly meeting, they're bringing people to the weekly meeting. They have guests or they have a team there. Or, their team is getting on conference calls. Or you see at a convention where they have a team of people. Now listen, if you don't have a team to speak of, and you're just new or you're just starting to grow a business, understand these laws can be learned. Okay, so all this stuff can be learned. But understand that you want to get good at identifying the leaders, right? Because you're a leader or you're aspiring to be a leader. And you want to start getting good at seeing who influences others to determine who those leaders are. Now, again, people are not following you because they have to. They follow you because they want to. So the best way to test the leader is to see who is showing up. Do they have people getting on conference calls? Do they have people getting on or showing up to weekly training events and regional events and things like that? See, the largest influencer is the largest leader. So as a leader, you'll be able to determine who that leader is. And listen, they might be disguised as something else. They might not look at, as a leader. But if they have people showing up at meetings, guess what? They're a leader. I had people in my own team that, they dressed to the nines but couldn't get a guest out to the meeting. And I had other people that would show up to the meetings in sneakers, but they would bring 4 or 5 people with them. Okay, that person is a person of influence who is essentially a leader. So keep that in mind. Now, there's 5 levels of leadership that John Maxwell talks about that I want to go over now. And if you're not taking notes, this is definitely a time that you want to maybe pause the video if you're watching this on replay and take some notes. This is some great stuff. The position level, number 1, the position level. And right next to that, write the word rights, R-I-G-H-T-S, rights. People follow you because they have to. And this is the lowest level. Now, the second level is the permission level. And I want you to write the word next to the permission level, relationships. People follow you because they want to. And John Maxwell talks about this as being the second mile. And back in the Roman Empire, back in those days, Roman soldiers were able to grab somebody off the street and make them carry their armor for a mile. And they had to. I don't know if it was a law, but they had to, or they'd probably kill them. Right? And the permission level is simply this. Somebody asks you to carry their armor a mile, go the extra mile. Okay, we've all heard that term, go the extra mile. People do it because they want to. I don't know if necessarily people want to carry armor for an extra mile, but the point is the permission levels, people want to follow you. Number 3, the third level is the production level. This is the results level. Okay, and this is where morale is high. What have you done? Hey, Pip from the UK. This is where, let's say, you start, producing results. And let me give you an example. I remember one of our first meetings, we had, a weekly meeting. We had about 5 people there and 4 of us were representatives. Well, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, we went from 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 80. And then there were some, regional trainings where we had thousands of people show up. Okay, and at that point, morale was so high. People were coming out because people were seeing results. People were making money. Okay, so that level, the production level, is the results level. Okay, and what you have done, what you have built. Now, understand this. In the beginning, and I've always said that the longer you do it, the longer you start building your business, the longer you keep doing it, it's going to be rough in the beginning in any business, okay, especially in network marketing. But the longer you do it, the easier it gets, and here's why. Because a couple reasons. One, people want to see that you're still doing it. Number 2, you're going to have more results 6 months, 12 months, 2 years from now than you do day 1. Right? And that's when more people are going to start joining because you're better, you're showing people results, you have testimonials, okay, and whatever the case may be. Now, the 4th level is people development. And write the word reproduction next to that. And in people development, obviously this is where you're developing people. This is where, you start building loyalty, right? When you start developing other leaders and building other leaders, okay, you're developing loyalty and you have a person for life in most cases. But this is where, you are building your team. Understand this as a leader. You're building people and you're building your organization rather, one person at a time, right? Who are you working with? Who are you developing? Who are you bringing into that leadership level? Okay, and if you don't, know where to start, here's one suggestion that I'll offer. People that call you more than you call them. Okay, start working with those people. Start developing them as a leader. Okay, now, the 5th level is what John Maxwell calls personhood. And personhood is when, and write the word respect next to that. And this is where you're put up on a pedestal. People are, you're at a convention, people are asking you for autographs. People think you're bigger than life. Okay, this is the personhood level. And I want to leave you with 4 questions. 4 questions that you want to write down and you want to ask yourself. The first question, what is the level of your influence with the leaders in your organization? And write down their names. And right next to that, okay, what level are you on with them? And understand that you're going to be on different levels with different people. The second question is, what is the level of your influence with the followers on your team? But let's get back to number 1 for a second. Because understand the leaders in your organization will make you or break you. Okay? Question number 2 is what is your level of influence with the followers in your organization, okay? And if you have some, you might want to write them down as well, okay? Certain people that you might know that are showing up at meetings, things like that. Now, the third question is, who are the top 10 influencers on your team? And listen, I know some of you were saying, I just want one. I just want one person on my team. I don't care if they're an influencer. I don't care if they're, a leader. I just want one person on my team. We'll get you there, okay? That's what some of my other trainings are for, okay? But this particular training is for leadership. So go back and watch some of my other videos. But again, remember, this can be learned. This stuff can be learned. So who are the top 10 influencers on your team? The fourth question is, do you influence the influencers? Do you influence the influencers? See, your ability to influence the influencers will determine your ability to lead a large organization. All right, so understand that. Look for the influencers as you're out there building your team. Okay, I know I went a little, hey, Brian, thanks, brother. This is some great stuff. I love leadership. Leadership is my favorite topic, and I'm going to be going over the rest of the laws throughout the month. So make sure you tune in. Check out my YouTube channel as well. Also, my business page for some other trainings as well. But we're going to be going over 21 irrefutable laws of leadership the entire month. Make it a great day, everybody.